How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to Biomutent. Encode your DNA. Pick Sentinel, Deadeye, Commando. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commando, Psy-Freak, Saboteur, Sentinel, Saboteur, Deadeye, Commando, Psy-Freak, Saboteur, Deadeye, Deadeye chosen. That'll work. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you. Your inner voice, to be precise. An echo of the balance and consequence of your actions.
So glad you realize who you really are. Let's keep to the bright and better path moving on.
You can't contradict yourself like that. You made the right choice to begin with. Why would you change your mind?
Because you can't deny what's deep within your heart. Sometimes a thought is just a thought. In the end, it's the way you act that counts.
But remember, this is just the beginning of the end. Eventually, it'll be my way or the highway.
Guess left can be right sometimes. Stories of death and the bodies left behind. a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the Predator only grew stronger. For it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The Predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the Tree of Life started to die. Great shot! Ching! The oil sludge is everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. That's sure to be useful. Look, an emergency. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. Of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Person. Stop pounding that one. That's going to leave a mark. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. Looks valuable. Might not need that now, but you will later.
Papa Mofobak Fabobe Mok Kofar.
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why.
Koibe Okorfabe Mayami.
He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up.
Far Kobe Mako Tofar Titaba.
He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed.
Kim Hobe Bekuku Hifar Muk.
There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true.
Kim hobe bekuku hifar muk.
The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad.
Mauya ye mufurbu bum.
The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember.
Mauya yalawa wat nawa.
It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have recognized you anyways. You look exactly like your Muma.
Yuba dullu wawa. Kuzata ghetto.
There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end.
Tolidrea ya maulua taimis.
He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have.
Tolumawawanya.
It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land.
Tuluya vuto lula taimis.
After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the disciples turned against each other.
Paikatawa hunto kuntue ponjevun goja.
Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. Sounds like he thinks she does, despite your heart growing dark. There's nothing as powerful as a Muma's love. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart of the land. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the Pensai. Oh, it'll need a continuous flux of ki over the 12 months to come, so countless, he'd say. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the Nonno's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. The land won't survive the side effects of the old world's industrial advances. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did... No, she's got lots on her mind and needs rest after the raid last night on the Lupin camp with her disciples. Wonders if they let the Predator family live or not.
Cobra, yak.
He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the world... Records tell of the ruinous devastation the Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land. The apocalypse sparked a re-evolution, the second coming, and our lineage. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. He claims names have power, so he gave them these names to weaken them. For him, the Porky Puff is particularly personal. It was that carnivorous beast that took his
Tuvun bunun.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters.
Tuvovu.
You're getting the hang of it. The quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive.
He's
heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
Ah! That's a spark of light in you!
That's right. Smack that spark out before it starts.
You don't have to be so harsh. It's such a little spark.
Take it out now while it's small.
There's always another spark.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important.
Momombusu tamuk gabamuktab.
Out-of-Date knows you'll make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there's two nearby.
Far come makoto far titaba. Junto con tue ponjevun gojo.
The Jagni tribe is likely to be your primary choice as they seek to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared.
Ewe bobuye. Mauya.
Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way.
To why?
Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side.
Mauya tolu ketan. Ya wawanwe.
He believes the tribe Sifus, Jagni especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play...
Nuka nuburak.
In Jagni's case, letting the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life is part of their plan. They believe a cleansing is the only way the world can be saved.
Ya, savoita mua. Beboko kontabe.
He'll be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do.
Mpa, wherefore, wherewe, valu alu, hero.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. They've destroyed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tribe war began. That's the Jagni tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war, or part of the problem. Let's see. It says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. The Sifu's door is always open for newcomers, but he cautions you. They'll expect you to behave, or you'll have to face the consequences.
Zata is the mój totloho. Kariesne zdace. Paro, ja put i
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. He's referring to your rampage through Bunker 101. It seems you don't mind a bit of blood on your hands. That's something you have in common. He understands that sometimes we need to lose ourselves to find ourselves. But he's glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupa Lupin attacked the old village. Soon after, they formed new tribes based on their own values, and when the Blight started, the animosity escalated to war. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Jagni doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Their goal is to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. Says fear and hatred is the only path to domination, but you already know that. So embracing that side of you and helping them vanquish the tribes and letting the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life should be an easy decision. He didn't expect that of you. You were born bad so you could do good in this world. That weak mind of yours has made you soft. He'll give you a chance to change your mind before you leave and asks you to reconsider. Otherwise, you'll be seen as a rival. Then so be it. He wants you to know that they'll show no mercy at the end of this war and offers you a last chance to come back and join when you realize you've picked the wrong side. And with that, he urges you to seek protection at Myriad's Stone Fort before word gets out that you've chosen not to side with them. It was built on the back of many, including us, and claimed by Myriad when the construction was abandoned after the attack on the old village. It was your Muma's vision for a new home for us all. It's time to say goodbye for now, and if it's not the kind of goodbye that lasts forever, then the next will mean the end for you. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Says just because you've made time to meet the Sifu doesn't mean he has time for you. But you're welcome to give it a try.
Sibi? La fanen agin kan man. Gerad na falo hutut mus. Tugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. The Myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribes and take control of their destiny. The tribes need a firm hand guiding them into the future. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. You need to take the struggle to the enemy, or the enemy will bring it to you. When survival is threatened, there's no other option left but war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. Even though you don't share their values, they hope you'll lead with mercy. The outcome of this war tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon.
Polo sekada bodo.
Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again.
Galato fole, mulikan frifgelf. Polo sekada bodo.
You were all part of the same tribe once, but without your Muma there as a guide, the disciples turned on each other and formed their own tribes.
Fale wala, papa.
Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village.
La fanen aginkan man. Waka mun lo sada.
Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor.
Papa mo. Get out full of Gamers Haveli.
He remembers your kind and unselfish soul and can sense you still have it in you, the will to do good.
Schleine forrutna mika.
Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival outpost might help.
What? Schleine forrutna mika.
Even though it's now a different place from a different time, it is a place that'll make you remember. Let's see. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. Better beware, that's a monk up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Cutting edge. Want to fall back. Sharp. Check out those guns. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes.
Vadiri,
He asks how you are today.
now wait Vani.
Goop says he always does better whenever he leaves failure behind. He's happy his good mood is infectious. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique.
Kawai daman lo bitni. Pawad buika.
Learning to swim can be scary when you don't know what you're doing. But fortunately, he's here to give you a helping hand.
Pawad buika.
He thinks you should really know how to swim by now.
Auta sare dundo kuhana.
And he'll be honored.
Wanap dapat ko. Tulpa. Usa. Mukan balik.
He says, that wasn't too bad, was it?
Auta sare dundo kuhana. Rapiki.
At least you learned that you'll drown if you don't swim.
Wanakan wako.
But you need practice. Lots of practice.
Wingi. Azim botalante.
Great things usually happen to those who never stop trying. He hopes you'll be one of them.
Azim botalante.
You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim.
Wingi.
You can never try too hard. Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something.
Kanamunt.
You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go.
Ben Nampusa.
The dedication to training is important. You can't rely solely on the fact that Wang Fu is in your blood.
Ben Nampusa.
You should know, practice makes perfect.
Brumble na marsa maunundu.
As long as it doesn't kill you, it'll only make you stronger.
Sanna jote.
She'll see you at the village square.
Puri kumbala mua. Masamal.
She'll be waiting for you. There will be a surprise for you at the end, too. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with is actually useful. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He thinks you're truly a kidling of your environment. You should look for things that are recyclable. It shouldn't take you too long to find some. He wonders what usefulness you found. Sometimes he's an expert, but sometimes he just does what's right. He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. He says only a few are willing to do the little things, but if you make enough of them, they can have a big impact too.
Zrisko, Gandita.
He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found would be a good start. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He appreciates those able to deliver a sharp remark. He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. You're not in this world to live up to his expectations, but he hopes you're never going to have to use that weapon of yours. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience.
Gendrana mala.
You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants...
Kuri kumbala mua.
Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment. It's your future.
Beri?
She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone.
Kialdo male kanaru tono.
That's all she's ever asked of you, that you'll try and give it your best. You can't do more than that.
Asadurutu. Asilnatu.
You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her.
Urasadurut. Kanamunta.
She worries about you. Sometimes you get lost in your own world, where the only thing that matters is you. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He says that it's not too late for you to turn back, though. There's no way they'll let you pass. He wants to know who you think you are. He says you're right. Nobody can tell him what he can and can't do, and that includes you. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? If confidence is silent and insecurity is loud, she thinks you're absolutely right. The most important thing is that you're okay. It's time to focus on your training now. You won't need excuses if you are strong in your conviction. Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best.
La fea nuch o waxu.
Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling.
Mich.
He heard you helped Gizmo clean up. He's proud of you.
Circa full of in the horse.
He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training.
Bestilka. Fjorda.
He wishes that was true for your Mooma too, but guiding the village into the future and teaching Wang Fu to her disciples seems more important for every day.
Bestilka.
He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how you can upcycle some old fabrics.
Ziehen.
He's curious to see what you've found.
Ne, badja analove.
He's all for renewal and has even considered making the trip out into the wilds to look for a bionucleus pool and refresh his DNA.
Badja analove. Mashako hersave.
He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle.
Woksa u inta badan kale. Lema mustak bala.
Says at least dirty hands are proof that you tried, and that counts. That you failed this time doesn't mean you can't succeed the next.
Ja.
He says it's about time you learned how and offers to teach you, starting with the scrap you found.
Wa. Versinnet.
The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you.
Tomosakula ima bella.
Agrees. At least that way it'll never go out of style.
Tomosakula ima bella.
You should take it with you, wear it to practice.
Badan utidimada bulshada. Waxandonia inan machamale.
He's sure your Mooma will forgive you for not wearing the traditional outfit.
Inta badan.
He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this.
Domale tu.
Your Mooma says it's about time you got here.
Domale tu.
Hopes you're as ready as you claim to be.
Tropalo. Ruemu tono.
She says she is eager to get started. You don't have much time left before the sun goes down.
Ruemu tono. Ganarota.
But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back.
Katjagtopoluta.
Wants you to prove that with some practice first.
Ansonbara.
Your Mooma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Katjagtopoluta.
Thanks you for being such a good student.
Ansonbara. Puri kumbalamuma.
Been working on a present for you, with the help of Gizmo and Wiz.
Kala. Inadabsunka.
You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it.
Sana yode.
Says he's always thought so well of you, just like her. She.
Kalino?
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's one.
Sana jote.
Figuring that out is half the fun.
Puri kumbala muma. Brumble marsamambumundu.
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device.
Kala.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see.
Andro?
You should think of it as watching over you when she can't.
Minalagi mamuru.
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day.
Tukonda.
She's so happy you made the most of it. Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Biomutent from setting the world on fire.
Antoro. Kensibo. Kamamu.
Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it.
Momibasa.
Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming.
Andro? Ansonbara.
There's nowhere to run to this time. The time has come to stand and fight.
Ritsentere. Ala. Kodotuku.
Whatever happens, you need to know she loves you. And everything she's done has been to protect you, your Popsy, and those she was chosen to lead.
Veri?
She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History.
Katja Topolupta. Vaiseno Kasamanvaru.
She loves how brave you are, but she can't be worrying about you while she fights. This is her fight. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity, when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. Sharp-dressed. Tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the Fluff Hulk out to the Farfnaki leaves and let it go. They've received news a Ronin had strengthened their ranks and were looking forward to meeting you. A group of myriad crusaders already headed out to Jagni's Mercadorpus outpost and are waiting for you there.
Brick Wanatsenga.
You should hurry there and help them best the outpost.
Tea, mes fasolala.
Not really. It's west of Bricktown. You can spot Gizmo's chug yard from the hill it resides on. Look, an emergency box for... Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Loot. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? Oh, ouch! That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away when they were done with it. Toxanol never cared about the waste, as long as they didn't have to pay to clean it up. There must be a track somewhere in this brick town. Just hope it's not buried. A flush seems like the tighteners on the piping need to be unturned correctly to drain the flush stool. That's the kind of trouble you really want to wash away. That's not too bad. This corner of the world is called Bricktown. Yeah. The future is in your hands, so take care of it. You're not capable enough yet. What looks like the fry sparker's knobs need to be in sync if you want to get the hardware working. It's a fry sparker mindset. Boom, you got something. It's not exactly what you wanted, but you got it right away. You found the track. Amazing it wasn't destroyed. So much of this place was just discarded. Lucky the track somehow made it. When Toxanol abandoned the place, it fell apart fast. Not too many like living in a ruin hole like this. The tracks moved on from Bricktown, and you should too. Try not to get turned around in the dark. You found the whereabouts, the deepest, darkest forest in the land, sometimes hard to see for all the trees. Right between the eyes. Right in the face. Looks cute. What a bruiser! That's a Jagni tribe outpost. Mercadorpa's outpost, a Jagni tribe stronghold. Let's see. Says it's time to set the outpost free. Inflict as little damage as possible as you make your way through to the rival captain. Freedom is not worth having in a world that's doomed. Here's the first line of defense. That's a bomb lobber. Back into the spot. Wrecked it. That twirly wheel works that drain pipe. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Everything's clocking together. Gotta try the key to see. Keep going. That cage is holding a helper. They never lost hope you'd come, but weren't sure if they'd last long enough to see it. Wants revenge on those who caged them, but trust you'll take care of it. A sharpshooter. The scaffolding looks unstable. Better stay clear of the red ray. Here's the second line of defense. Red means danger. Timber. Bet a big bump will bring it down. Switched off the light. A barrel shoot. Smack it to get a barrel out of it, then hit it toward the gate and blast it. That looks splody. Shoot it and watch it blow. Not too close, though. Oh, boom. You're in. Almost there. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger.
Lapu. Prewere yonke.
Says you did a great job capturing the outpost. You've earned the privilege of carrying the tribe's weapon.
Brita.
Figures the honor belongs to the tribe, too. Out of Date says he's doing his best to keep up, but from what he can tell, it seems you're making progress with the tribe conflict. He had a feeling you'd get along with the Myriad tribe, but it remains to be seen what the future holds for your alliance. Your negative outlook on life might just be what the Myriad tribe needs to complement theirs, which is much more positive. But Out of Date emphasizes that solving the tribe conflict won't matter unless you help make a stand against the World Eaters. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's forebodings are justified. The jumbo puff needs to be taken care of. He says the time has come to confront the Jumbo Puff at the end of the west route.
To why?
Gizmo is working on making his Mekton strong enough to endure the oxygen-deprived dead zone all the way out to the World Eater.
Iatu jau maua.
You should get over there and see what you can do to help. Twinkles that it's good the Myriad tribe is your friend, even if didn't have much else to say, so no problem. The vendor says you can browse his goods any time during opening hours. Says you're in good company.
Trick one Zemia.
Shopkeeper claims you
Right this to. That's a ganote. Easy prey for Lupin. For everyone else, they're a perfect mount and easily tamed if they are kept fed. Don't be feary. It probably won't bite. That's a resource totem. A monument left behind by those that picked scrap, trying to keep the area clean. It's the chug yard. Tribes always scavenging for scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they should have stuck to looting instead of playing around with sprockets. Bomper Bonkers busy ram-banging the door. This is your chance. Better days. Well placed. Wrecking fest. Hand them defeat. It's time to create your own path. Yes, you can do anything. The sky's the limit. Now, let's take this back to Earth. Wow, you really took that all the way down to the end, in flames. Let's see. It's a wonder some of these up and downs still work. Guess they built machines better in the past. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the marine habitats, while the overflowing landfills contaminated the groundwater. I need to brush up on my Wando, but I have a feeling he believes it was you that caused the bang at the yard. Oh, and he says he knows you. You used to call him Gizmo. He gave you the oil-greased hands when he taught you how to upcycle. Gizmo remembers you as a nice kidling, and he can still sense the warmth of your good heart. But Gizmo says how you experience a memory can be different. You know the story, but sometimes the truth it brings is personal. He hopes you remember that one time he taught you to upcycle, and hopes you've had some use for it over the years. Gizmo says he also has re-memories from the long gone, but unlike you, he doesn't think of the past, for it's gone. He understands history made Lupa Lupin a big part of your past, your present, and soon, your future. You still believe there's some good in everyone. You still have hope for tomorrow.
He says you should know that what's meant to be will always find a way, but history shouldn't consume you.
Happy hab, dopado.
Gizmo encourages that. You should forgive, but never forget. It'll provide some comfort to your soul and keep the memory of lost loved ones in your heart.
Fan that flame!
Beat out that spark before it starts.
It was so young, so fragile. It had so much to give.
Better to take it down now while you still can.
Fire catches. Eventually.
Would like to know if you ever doubt the choices you made on the path that brought you to this point. Would you have been happier going in a different direction? Supposes that's all any of us can do. Hard to believe the world is actually going to survive. Just seemed impossible till now. Grateful to you for coming back and doing your best to change things. You were the only chance they had. Wonders if you liked working with the Myriad. They always seemed so centered and so seeking. Figures everyone does. They seem unusually dedicated to finding them. But that's not important now. Gizmo says it's taken a long time to bring the past up to the present, and where you go from here is up to you. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the underyard as he has no protection against the vacuum in the dead zone. So you need to salvage scrap to upcycle the Mekton, starting with the old crate outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the Mekton strong enough to fight the Jumbo Puff. There are more crates from before the apocalypse left out in the wild. Easy to find if you keep an eye out. You should be able to gather enough scrap to upgrade the Mekton from them. There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. Looks like the switches need to be turned to match, so enough charge. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. That's the leftover you're looking for. Don't tip over. Ooh, a biohazard like that can make you real sick. Feels like a monster's lair down here. He says that's enough to get the Mekton functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun, and a gathering net, but no armor, nor enough oxygen supply. Something he devised to salvage valuables from the ground. There are usually spots hidden beneath puddles of oily goo where you can use the net. He's been working on another project for the Mekton, a cannon, but it needs ammunition, and by that he means the scripts. He says if they're trained right, they'll turn into a distraction for the jumbo puff. The best way to find scripts is to go talk to Moog. He knows the ins and outs of every breathing thing left alive after the apocalypse. Unfortunately, this means you'll have to venture farther out into the dead zone than Moog's camp on the steep depot. Once you find Moog, he'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find scripts. He noticed the jumbo puff has a short attention span, so the script should distract it long enough for you to inflict some damage. Grease Monkey's Mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? Light is the best, period. Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Dead Zone. That over there is Steepo Depot, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to.
Botsle. In Mo. Tiava. Wuksa u intapadang kal. Khalifaf Cairo.
This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead by now. Not
Takadnio umumwaka.
says a monster hunter hears many things on the wind.
Wuksa u intapadang kali.
Moog says that all your power doesn't do you a bit of good if you're not willing to pull the trigger when the time comes.
La fea nuch.
Choosing what to kill and what to spare are the most important decisions you'll make.
Badya analog.
You might have a steady aim, but you need to be sure that you pick your targets with care.
Tarnianda kaguno. Lema padang wakumo nas vaya.
It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it themselves, and you know they'll miss.
Uvuksudiskualihan joskava.
Claims he mostly kills whoever he doesn't like.
Vetse njavaf, como judo pavazine.
Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot.
Sem
Wonders why you work so hard to keep things alive. Bullets help thin the herd instead.
eskayamaku. Sem
Says you should give up on working with the stubborn myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights and they keep putting up new ones.
tudu baba.
Says they keep the monsters away. He needs them closer, not farther.
Como uno shalafid.
But enough of that, right?
Why adfuno jabe? Como uno shalafid.
He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed.
Mustak bala.
He's not sure about their veggie diet anymore, and if it's changed, who knows what it's done with the chemical composition of their body output.
Dre. Yada. Mashako hirsave.
Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short. Says as big as they are, the world is bigger. To find where they are, you need to see where they've been.
Mansela fan.
Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter.
Sarevanyat zab.
Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big.
Wa o waksu waksan makale zegi.
There's no better place to start than a squip cave. Hunting down a couple of these little critters for yourself should keep you on your toes.
Ova bug bug ad.
Says you stick to the haunting and shots present themselves later. Let's see. Feel like a landed fish? You sound like one. Mount up. Wait, it's the scrip hole-up. Place is just filled with critters. Bullets everywhere. Put 'em in. Knock them high. Took care. That's just awful. Watch your step around here. Once the volatilization from the nuclear waste evaporated, a volatile gas rose through the soil and infested structures, even Toxanol's own buildings. So, in a way, they caused their own death. Don't flinch away from this. It's your moment. You need to focus. Oh, idea. Go knock the lid off that sludge truck. It'll fill the place up and you can get up to that entrance there. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Hold on. Just so eager to slice things up. Right out. Fasten that hatch and go Trumbull. In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. He says that's enough scripts to sustain the Mekton's claw crane cannon with infinite ammunition. Well done. It's not his cleanest invention so far, but it gets the job done. Use it to suck up gooey oil puddles in the Mekton's way so you can pass. Gizmo's made vehicles before to confront the Jumbo Puff himself, but failed. But this time, it's different. The Mekton will be strong enough to do the job. It's time to put a stop to the World Eater now. Otherwise, he fears the damage it's caused to the tree already will be too much to handle. He asks you to not even think about taking on the Jumbo Puff on foot. You'll need the Mekton to do the job. Take his word for it. There's time to improve the Mekton before you confront the Puff. There are more wreck boxes out in the dead zone with gear you should be able to equip the Mekton with on your own. He got the idea to build the Mekton when he found a big crate containing the metal frame for something Toxanol had named an exoskeleton. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Thinks Goop is just, you know, goofy. Wants you to know how great your father was. So kind and helpful, just like you. Says you should take it easy. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Says you should take care. When a story comes to you, pay attention. You could just go to a place like this to get a proper meal back in the old world. Kaboom! Fists of fury. Don't waste too much energy. There's a place and time for everything, but for that sick scenario, it's already come and gone. Bang, bang. Even the sound seems sharper here. Leave that scrap behind. Stomping time. You're injured. Right between the eyes. Looks like wholesome. A tidy little cave. Itchy trigger finger. These steel legs were made for walking. There are brakes if you want them. Enough of that. Finders keepers. Ride like the wind. Shop, shop. That's one just over there. Go. Running low. Cutting edge. No hope of that with as little energy as you have. Itchy trigger finger. We've had better days.
stuff. Chop it up. That's a good find. There's not much left of what we used to call our world. There's a serenity about this spot. It's a place for rest and It's time for an adventure, for good or bad. A punch crunch.
Getting out the tin can. Mount up. Bullets everywhere. Punch time. Keep on walking. All that exercise helps. That's a jumbo puff with an appetite. Ain't no fuzz. Let's put an end to it before it ends our world. The jumbo puff is kicking it up a notch. It's time for an electric performance. Bad feeling about this. It goes all the way down to the stomach. Start like a snack, and you'll end up with a ride down the intestinal canal. That's too close to the end station. Better move up and away, or be swept out the bowel way. Wow, what a super-sized wormwing. That must be as big as they come. You see, it's what's on the Taurus is pumping at half a beat. You know what to do. Who would have guessed it would go down with a throw-up? Can it really get any better than that? He thanks you for dealing with the first World Eater. It's a start. You should go see Out of Date and find out what you can about the machine he's named the Ark. You're good-hearted enough, so you'll have no problem getting him to share the information with you. He trusts you know where to find Out of Date by now. He's always been at the foot of the tree, and that hasn't changed.
Hugo, that.
Gizmo will always make time for you.
Happy hab, Topado.
With our help, the tree could live a lot longer.
Sanki Su, Diladu.
If you don't want to die when the world ends,
Threeska, Galita.
wishes you goodbye.
Hey,
Gizmo will always make time.
Bingo.
Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. Good ridey beast, no hurty. Disgusting. Biohazard. Just gross. That's an intact plant hut over there. Wonder what's growing in it. Everything is at stake.
See that e-waste? Always handy. There's a monolith right there. Keep your eyes out for Nono. You got it dialed in. See where that light leads? Let's see.
Oirakta no sakaha.
Says they've been waiting for you to...
Woprik in flau zimunta.
Just keep going while you can, and don't stop until all outposts are under your control.
Woprik in flau zimunta.
Says scouts spotted a moth nest close to the outpost. If you destroy that, the moths should infest the place, looking for a new home.
Na utu.
That's the idea. If everything works out as planned, the moths should cause a buzzing tumult. Just get to it and destroy it. You've used up all your key energy. Just stay down. Now you can focus. That one wasn't so smart. For being cut off from the surface, this isn't too bad. Right where it counts.
Nice work. No more moth's nest. There go the moths toward the outpost. They're good and mad. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger.